well, and we'll get going. So here we go. Last thing, if you can't speak today, let me know in the chat box, please. It's very important. You should be doing this for Paul and for Lawrence as well, please. If you're not talking, just... Okay, so today we are looking at OET listening. It's part A. We're going to do format, technique, and practice. And guys, the first thing I want you to do is just tell me, can you see my listening document? Ooh, wait a second. Can everyone see my listening document here?
No.
You can't, can you? Exactly. Let's try this again. Can everyone see now listening document?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, now.
All right. So this class is going to be all about OET listening part A, as usual on Tuesday. We always do the same. And I'm going to start. Well, you guys tell me, is there anyone here who's never done OET before? Any OET kind of babies in the house?
Me.
So Asif, Iman, a few others. Okay. So
Me.
I'm going to cover, in that case, I'm going to cover the format quickly, and we'll review that just so you can get an overview of what the test is like. Then I'm going to go through techniques. And again, a lot of you have seen this before, but we'll just review it. Then we'll do some practice. We'll do a mock test. Most importantly is we will analyze the answers together today. So we can look at the script and we can say, why was the answer this? What was the spelling? You can go into a lot of detail. So this is what we're trying to do today, guys. And we will start now. Format. I'm going to ask Dahlia. I think she's done the exam before. Could you put your microphone on, Dahlia, if it's okay?
Hello. Hello, Ella.
Dahlia, can you just tell me a few things about listening part 8? How many questions are there in the exam?
Part A is about 24 questions.
Okay, and how many things will you listen to?
It's two audios.
Two audios. Okay. Is this right, guys, so far? Everyone agree?
Yes.
Anyone getting confused with
Yes,
the questions? How many questions in reading part A, guys? Reading.
20.
And reading, 20.
There's 20 in reading part A, but actually 24 in listening. There's 2 audios, and I'm going to ask Aisha, could you say hello? Or maybe if we could have Rishmi, could you say hello quickly? Put your microphones on, please.
Hello.
Hello, Ya. So what will we listen to? What's the situation we're going to listen to?
We are listening to a consultation between a patient and then a doctor or a specialist.
It could be a GP, patient and GP, or it could be patient and specialist. Yeah. Okay. So another question. Yeah. How long is each audio clip? Do you know? Is it 10
I think
minutes?
5 minutes.
She thinks 5. Everyone, tell her, please.
4 to 5 minutes.
6, between 4 and 6 minutes.
Yeah, so we can say approximately 5 minutes. It's usually, sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. Okay, so guys, we're listening to 2 audio clips. We're listening always to a consultation between a patient and a GP or a patient and a specialist. There's 24 questions. Each audio clip is 5 minutes long. Now, Rima, what type of questions are we going to see?
Gap fill.
Yeah, so do you know why it's gap fill?
Obtaining details.
Because we're listening for detail. Has anyone seen a long time ago the old OET listening test? Has anyone
Yes.
seen ones? It used to be what? If you know, Rima, just keep quiet for 1 second. What did it used to be a test of? Can anyone here tell me? A long time ago, it was...
Details?
Well, it was listening for details. When do you listen for details in your jobs? Your nurses, your doctors, your pharmacists. When do you listen and write down details? What are you doing?
Taking history.
History taking, like, especially.
Note taking, right?
Note taking.
So originally, OET Listening Part 8 was a note-taking exercise, and there was no gaps. You just write down what you hear. No gaps. They changed it about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago because it was just too difficult. It was too difficult. It's actually easier now. All right. Okay, so this is the exam. There's 24 questions, 2 audio clips, five minutes for each audio. It's always a consultation. It's always gap-fill questions. You're going to have how many questions for each audio, everyone? How many questions?
12.
Questions for each audio. Now let's think about scores, because this is the most important thing, especially people like Victoria, or we could ask Norzad, Charles. What is the score that I need to pass? What's a good score?
21.
22.
21.
21.
I feel like 21 is like the absolute minimum. I think, what is a good score? Obviously 24 is a good score, but what is like
20 is best.
22.
If you get 20, then you get
22.
4. No.
20, 23?
Yeah,
Okay.
sometimes it's difficult. If you get 20 and 4 for B, so you can cover 6 and C.
Exactly. But the big problem, guys, is, and you all know, if you're new to OET, the big problem is not really Part A. Part A is not the problem. Part C is the
Yeah,
problem.
monologues is very difficult.
So we try in this part to get as many points as we can, the most we can, so that later on, it's not so bad, okay? Because Part C is really, really tough. And guys, I'm going to be teaching Part C very soon. I actually really enjoy teaching Part C, but it's really, really hard. Okay?
Alan, especially in Part A, I did some tests like between the Jishan and benchmark, but the benchmark was quite hard because signposting was coming after. The audio come first and signposts come before, so it's really hard. I did it. So in Part A, especially, benchmark was very hard to catch.
Yes, and signposting is a very important part of Part A and Part C, both of them. We'll talk about signposting today. Okay, one more question, guys. Let's think about spelling. Is spelling important? Lucinda, if you're available, it would be great. Or Ahmet. Do we need to think about spelling in this test?
Spelling is
Yes.
needed, I think.
It is needed. So what's the problem with spelling? If I make a spelling mistake, will I lose marks?
If it doesn't change the meaning.
Yeah.
Small errors.
Small spelling errors are
Yeah.
Acceptable.
acceptable. How can we make sure our spelling is better? Anyone? How can I make sure that I have good spelling in the exam?
Practice.
Vocabulary words. Vocabularies.
Practice with SET, study that on the website we have vocabulary lists, but can I check my spelling? Do I have time to check the spelling? Farouk.
Yes.
At the end, yeah.
Yeah, at the end we have time, but
So paper-based, how much time do I have to check my spellings?
2 minutes.
2.
2 minutes at end of, guys, of what?
Part A.
No, part
No,
C.
whole test.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 90 seconds, yeah.
Okay, so guys, at the end of your paper-based test, you're going to have 2 minutes to check. I don't recommend checking part B and C. It's multiple choice. What are you going to check? There's nothing to check. You should spend that time checking your spellings. Or does anyone here write note form in the test? Does anyone write notes? Or you can write in your own language. Does
Yeah,
anyone...
I do so.
It's possible to write in pencil in your own language or in note form and then come back at the end and change it at the end. Okay, I'm going to talk about that later because it's actually very important. What about computer tests, guys? How much time do we have to check spellings?
1 minute.
Everyone.
1
minute at end of
C.
part A.
Okay.
Is anyone here thinking of doing the computer test? Anyone?
Alan, I won't take the computer test, but it's some say that it's not appropriate, and
For me, I'm not a big fan. I have to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of it because in part A reading, you can't really write anything down. Okay, so I think it's not impossible, but think about it, guys. It might not be the best choice. It might not be the best choice for you. Okay. Anyway, this is the test. Does anyone have any quick questions about the format before I move on? Does anyone want to ask me anything?
One question about the test.
Go on, Victoria.
2 minutes. We have them after we finish part B and C.
Say that one more time. You're cutting out a little bit there, Victoria. Go on, one more time.
So if we have paper-based test, we will have this 2 minutes for checking. After we will finish all of the parts A, B, and C.
Yes, so after C, basically. C is the last one, so yes, after all the parts. Agreed.
All right, because in computer-based you have split this minutes.
Yes, but you don't have that, exactly. You get 1 minute after each part. Are you doing the computer one?
I have done computer one twice, and right now I will do paper-based.
It might be better if you're trying to get 400. That's just my advice. Okay, this is what the test like. I'm going to show you an example anyway. Let's just review techniques, because most students, serious OET students, they kind of do the same things. Everyone does the same things. So I'm going to ask you guys to tell me, what do students normally do? Chandi Mali, can you say hello?
Hello.
Tell me about techniques, just quickly, Chandi Mali. What should we be doing in this test? How do we do it? How do we do the test? How do we get the answers? Chandi Mali, how much time before audio starts? How much time before audio starts?
Before audio start.
Before the audios, yeah. Do you know how much time we have before it starts? Can anyone help us?
2 minutes.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Okay. So Chandi Mali, is there anything that you do personally before it starts?
Yes, we need to categorize the find out about signpost.
Okay, well, you've mentioned two things there. Excellent. So, guys, normally she's saying categorize. Okay, so that is a good technique. I'll just review that with you guys quickly. There's also signposting. She said signposting, if you guys heard that. Is there any other techniques that we teach normally in this school? Everyone? Selectors. Okay. I'm going to quickly show you them, and then we're going to do a test, and you can practice them. All right. A lot of this is just very obvious things, but what I'm trying to do is get you to be systematic about it. You probably do this already, but you need to be thinking, this is what I will do. This is my technique. Okay. So let's talk about categories, and I'm going to ask Andrea, Akua, Eda.
Yes,
What do you
can be
mean by
like medication.
What is it? Can you tell me what is it we're doing when it comes to categories?
Just we select the word that, I don't know.
Well, give me an example here. What are we doing with this one?
Prescribe medication.
So
one type of medication, or can be.
Is that the answer? Medication. Is that the answer?
No, it's not. It's just a group. Can be any type of medication.
It's the group of the answer. Yeah, I like that. The type of answer. So guys, some students try to predict the grammar. Does anyone here try to think, okay, is it a noun, a verb, adjective? It's okay as a technique, but it's not the most important one. The most important thing is to think about what is the type of answer I need. Okay? So, for example, here this would be medication, because prescribed. What if it says she was diagnosed with?
Condition.
It's often very easy, isn't it, Khalid? It's actually very easy sometimes. What if it says she experienced a
Headache.
blank. Alan, why do you always say headache?
Because when I
How
do
do
the
you
test,
know? You know.
no, the thing is, yesterday I did a test, and believe me, one answer came, and I predict, and that answer came the same as, because sometimes the categories we already know that that will be the answer 100%.
Sometimes.
So that's why.
But be careful, guys, because sometimes they can trick you, right? For example, sometimes they say works as a, and has anyone seen the mock test where the answer is full-time mother? Has anyone seen that one? You don't expect you can't predict full-time mother from works as a. Maybe you should, but it's not always, you can't predict the exact word. You're predicting the type of answer. Okay, so guys, here, what's the type? Works as a
Profession.
Description.
This one is condition.
Symptoms.
This one is
Symptom.
symptom. This is condition.
Medication.
So there's only about 10 types that you see all the time. The most important one, Victoria, you might not know this. I'm sure you've seen this kind of thing before, but the most important category is this. She had a blank rash. Just Victoria, guys, please don't tell her. Victoria, what is the category I need here? Do you know?
Adjective.
It is an adjective, but I don't think adjectives really help us. When you're in the exam, you need to be thinking, what's the meaning that I'm listening for? You know what I mean? It's the meaning that you're trying to pay attention to. Okay. So this would be what I call this description of. Right? You're listening for a kind of description of the rash. Victoria, yes, it's usually an adjective. Sometimes it can be a noun, though. They might give you the type of the rash. Okay.
Color or something.
I just call this description category, usually adjective. Okay. So, guys, we're going to practice this today. Does anyone have any questions about this? Does this make sense? We're thinking about the type of the answer we need.
Alan?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Last time, I agree with all these things, but last time what happened? They mentioned two things. Ache, something was ache, and then the footwear, the foot something.
Yeah.
And so they confused me. So in the description, it was ache or the foot.
Yeah. Well, obviously, they're going to try and trick you. I think this is where we can talk about the tricks. Okay. But it is a difficult exam, and sometimes they will say slightly confusing things. We can analyze this today. But guys, what is a signpost? Just quickly, what's a signpost? Maybe Elena, can you tell me? What's a signpost, please? Or Jamila? Iman? What is a signpost? Can you say hello? One of you guys?
Indicator to answer.
Mohammed, thank you. Go on, who's that?
It's me, Ellen Nas.
Naz, thank you. So Mohammed and Naz. Guys, remember, if I say your name, try and answer. It's very important. You don't just go and make a cup of tea. It's not that kind of class, serious class.